Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, I wanted to just quickly discuss what the Duelist Cup was for anyone who is unfamiliar, as well as explain why I don't like it. So first things first, if you don't know, the Duelist Cup is currently going on until the 21st. From today, when I'm recording this, which is the 9th, all the way to the 21st. So if you don't know, the Duelist Cup basically is another ranked system as an event. However, with the ranked system, you gain a whole bunch of rewards, namely a lot of gems, when you get all the way to duel level max. Now, duel level max is basically just level 20, and with some of the ranks, you'll probably start at a slightly higher rank. So, for example, I started clear in Diamond, so I started at duel level 10 and climbed 6 today. So it's not that difficult to climb, unlike with regular ranked. You don't really have to get wins in a row. It's just kind of, you need to get like 4 or 5 wins, 3 wins, in order to rank up. So it's very easy to climb. And that is just the first stage. That goes all the way until the 21st. So you can climb whenever you want throughout the event. However, the second stage is where things get interesting. This is where it becomes more of a quote-unquote tournament style event. So basically what you do is, during the second stage, you can win duels and earn DP. DP is duel points. It's basically the same thing as like MMR, matchmaking rating, in a lot of other games like Dota or StarCraft or other such matchmaking MMR games. There we go. But basically, yeah, you win DP by winning duels, you lose DP by losing duels, and you can earn a ton of DP to get to higher ranks. Now, there are rewards depending on your rank, but if they're anything like Duel Links, they'll probably be absolutely terrible. The reason for this is because in Duel Links, there's like basically, unless you get top 3, you're probably not going to get anything that's worthwhile, so it's not really worth the headache. It's pretty simple. The first place normally gets a Worlds invitation. You're just like guaranteed to go to Worlds. If you win that KC Cup, you're guaranteed. I'm guessing it's probably similar for the Duelist Cup. So if you are expecting to be the #1 player in the entire world, go for it. Let me explain the rest of the stuff before you make that decision, though. The other 3 in the top 3 get a cool mat in Duel Links and a cool icon and stuff like that can only be obtained through them. They're basically like the gold medals of the event. It's very cool, and it's nice to see like, oh, this person is a world champion. That's crazy. Well done. But other than that, really not worth it. Even getting within the top 100, not really worth the rewards, at least in Duel Links. I would imagine it's something similar. You might get gems, which is nice, so maybe consider participating just for that, but other than that, it's not really worth it. Moving on, we have, in the first stage, you can start at a higher rank or a higher level, depending on your rank. So I was in Diamond, so I started at duel level 10, climbed 6 ranks today, not that difficult, as I said. But the second stage, this is very important. The amount of DP gained or lost depends on the difference in DP between you and your opponent. There's no upper limit for DP earned for a win, and the lower limit is 1,000. So you're always guaranteed to gain 1,000 points for a win. However, if you lose, there is an upper limit, but there is no lower limit. So you're guaranteed to at least, well, I should say, you're guaranteed at most 1,200 points loss if you are like way above your opponent in DP rating, right? So do keep that in mind as well. It is significantly more rewarding to win. What this basically incentivizes is, instead of having a high win rate, it's more about having an even win rate, having that 50-50 split, and playing a lot of games. Now, why this is so terrible is because in Best of Ones, you can play games that are, or you can play decks that have just literally unwinnable matchups, or just terrible spread across the meta and stuff like that. But as long as they win quickly, like something like Numeron or Flunder, you're able to get a lot of games in and still have a 50% win rate, which is just enough to gain more and more DP. That's another reason why I really don't like this system. It's actually the first reason why, but yeah, just it's more about the amount of games played rather than your actual skill. I always had a fairly decent win rate within those events, high above the 50% win rate, closer to 60. But because I enjoyed playing slower decks like Ritual Beasts or Dark Lords or something like that, that took several turns to actually win, I oftentimes didn't do very well and wouldn't really climb very quickly. Now, the second thing, also 300 seconds for a duel, just real quick, wanted to point that out. The second thing that I wanted to point out is, let's go back to this, is if we notice right here, there is 3 days that you can compete in the second stage. However, within those 3 days, you can play all 72 hours. There is no time limit for you at all. There's no time limit like, oh, you can only play 8 hours within those 72 hours, or 10, or 12, or anything like that. You can play all 72 hours. Now, what this incentivizes is account sharing. A lot of people, especially in Duel Links, have account shared to get all the way to the top. This has happened in basically every KC Cup, where basically you have one person duel the majority of the time, but you have another person come in to help basically cycle them out and give them additional time to rest or eat or what have you, while the other person duels, right? And the second person may be significantly weaker of a duelist, but it doesn't really matter because, again, it's all about number of games played. In the KC Cup, we had countless events where the top players oftentimes were just players who played the most, right? Upwards of 1,000+ games were being played by each individual account, or each individual player, and that was what ended up getting them all the way to the top. Now, there were a few exceptions where people would play 200 games, which is still a lot, but it's not nearly as much. Like, I could definitely do 200 games within a weekend if I really committed myself. Not 1,000, but there's that. So, again, like, yeah, 200 with a really good win rate, and they're able to crack the top 100. Now, it's not really worth it to go all the way to the top 100 unless you're planning to get all the way to the top 3, because the rewards, at least in Duel Links, were so mediocre. They weren't worth it, like, ever. And if you competed in one KC Cup and ended up getting the top 100, you probably got enough of a reward that you weren't ever really needing to participate in any of the other KC Cups. And the reason for that is because it was the same reward every time, and some other junk stuff that, like, was never going to be used, like gold or orbs or whatever it was that actually was the quote-unquote crafting system in Duel Links. Now, I imagine the stuff that we get for the event in Master Duel will be a little bit better, just given the fact that there isn't really any just useless stuff like gold or what have you. I mean, the only currency that we have in Master Duel is the gems and potentially some other crafting stuff. So yes, there is a chance that we get like NR orbs or crafting points, which, like, okay, that wouldn't be great, but we could also get SR and UR crafting points, which could be worth the business, you know, worth the time. I doubt it, but then again, who knows? Yeah, that's basically all that I wanted to say. Just, I wouldn't consider competing in the second stage, like, at all. It's genuinely such a heartache. You know, play as much as you want. Don't consider it anything big. It's not really worth it. It's not going to help you. It really isn't. I know that Decade and a lot of the Duel Links meta / Master Duel meta community really hype up the Duelist Cup, but I'm not gonna lie, get your gems and get out. This is one of the events where, again, just get your gems and get out. It might be worth it to say, like, oh, look at how well I did, but in all reality, this has nothing to do with the meta. It's mostly just about, like, what can win quickly. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful for anyone who hasn't played in these events, or just understanding why the Duelist Cup is the way that it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.